Yeah, man. Alex Pereira almost got the finish at the end of that second round, but he like took his foot off the gas.
Yeah, I think if you heard the corner, right, and when we were watching it together, uh, Glover said we have a plan, this and that. I think honestly, if he overextended and tried to put Jan away in that second round and didn't, um, he would have been afraid that he would have gassed, and then Jan could just lay on him the whole third round. And even though he could have had a dominant second round, he definitely lost the first. And then if he got laid on for the whole third round, even not taking any shots, it wouldn't have made a difference. So I think he was making an effort to make sure he didn't gas out.
Yeah, it was smart too because if he would have been pressing, he opens himself up for that massive double leg and then getting stuck on his back for 2 minutes of the round. So he was like smart with his tactical approach. It just almost cost him because he could have put him away at the end of the second there. He chose not to. He chose to pause and kind of save his energy, and he almost lost a decision. That shit was tight. That was scary. I knew when it was Ron McCarthy that we were good because he always gets fights right. Like for some reason, that dude just always gets fights right. So I was pretty psyched when I was like, oh, it's Ron McCarthy. But I mean, it was still scary as shit going into that, and then hearing it was a split and oof. And then Gaethje, bro, we nailed Gaethje as well. We both were on the Gaethje side. I had Gaethje rounds 3 and 4, and it was he was putting it on him in the first too, but good fight.
Yeah, we did pretty well. The only one that was a miss was Chiesa, which I was very surprised with Holland. Tony Ferg, I mean,
It's
he's
Tony.
saying the eye poke. Yeah, the eye poke I thought severely impacted it, but everything changed, after that. But even when he was on his back, you don't need to have your eyes open to try and pull the guy close and tie him up and stuff like that. So I don't know how much you could really look into that. But Derek Lewis, what a gift at plus two something to get a win by knockout.
We said, man, we
Uh,
said that line was gonna look real fucking silly the next week, and looking back on it, it does. I mean, even if he didn't get that knockout early, like he still was gonna. I think he still was gonna beat the fuck out of Delima, but we'll never know now because the dude landed a flying knee in 2 seconds. Masvidal his
yeah,
ass. Like that was just great when we both had Derek Lewis tickets.
yeah, absolutely. So we did really really well. I know my account looks phenomenal, even not hitting some of those dogs, but that's the name of the game. You hit some of these other ones where the lines are absurd, like that Derek Lewis plus money to win by finish. We got Alex at plus money on the money line.
Yep.
And then we got Gaethje plus money to win by knockout. So it worked out really, really well. And then we sprinkled a couple under two and a halves, some parlays with Bonfim, who's an absolute stud. Uh, I used a nice 50% parlay with him under two and a half, and by sub that was a nice little plus money bet, little gift. So we did well. Hopefully we can repeat it here. Unfortunately, this card does not have the beauties that we were given last week.
No, no, this card is full of things that we would might call the opposite of beauties. I do have something real quick though, Tim. So I got this parlay. It's Pantoja, Pajera, and Sean O'Malley. I have $50 on it to win 970. Right now I can cash out for $300. Do we cash that or do we let it ride with Sugar Sean? We can also just wait a few weeks and let Sugar Sean, you know, do his thing and see how we feel then. But plus 1850 on that parlay. Alex was the second leg. What would you do? Would you let it ride with Sugar or would you cash out right now?
What's the potential payout?
$978.
978, and you can cash out now at 100 and something, 170.
$290
$290. And what's Sean's regular odds?
plus 220.
Oh, do you cash out and then just put half of that on Sean?
I don't know, man. I have a bet on Sean already. I feel like he's the side, but I feel like, that parlay,
Pigs,
I
you
don't
got to
know.
remember, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered.
Yeah.
So you could be 290 extra, or you could be,
Yeah.
I wish I had 290. You know what I'm talking about? That's a 290. If you put that on Alex versus Yuri, no problem. Alex all day.
Put it on Yuri by knockout. Is that what you said?
You could do that too. You could do that too.
Or I could put it on
Yeah.
a random undercard fight here. I could put it on one of these fights here that are pretty much 50-50s. I could put it on Jeremiah Wells or
Yeah.
Alexa Kamur coming off of 2 losses. Tanner Bozer. Yeah, there's not a lot of good betting spots here, but I got 3 that I'm a fan of. We'll talk about them. I think.
Yeah, there's some good ones on here. I like some of these guys. It's tough. You usually have something like this. It's kind of like a little bit of a down after such a massive card, but
Yep.
but it's all right, man.
For
You
real.
can't. They have so many people on the roster. I think this gets missed a lot that it's impossible. You can't put all these studs on fight nights and everything like that when they have a deal with ESPN where they have to put out the content.
Yeah.
That's why the roster is so deep. You know.
Nobody can be mad about this card either because we just had 2 like fight of the year cards back to back. I still think 290 was better than 291, but I mean, that's 2 stud cards, pay-per-views back to
I
back.
Man, this card was so good. This card was so good. It's tough because now you're looking at. I mean, how many finishes were there in this card? The one that we
There were a
thought
lot.
definitely, the one that we definitely thought wouldn't be a finish, or would be a finish, wasn't, and that
Yeah.
was Alex Leon. So it was pretty good. It was moving quite rapidly. I will have to say.
Yeah, the only bad fight was that CJ Vergara fight where it looked like they were on the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh yeah, that sparring session.
Oh, dude, that was fucking awful. That was
That
so bad.
was that was pretty bad.
Despicable. All right, we can kick it off. The first one here. We got Ode, the Jamaican sensation Osborne, fighting Asu Almabayev. And Ode Osborne is 12-5, 3-2 in his last 5. And Asu, this is his UFC debut. He is 5-0 in his last 5 and 17-2 overall. Let me grab the updated odds real quick from DraftKings. Yeah, so Ode is plus 155 and Asu is minus 185 here.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know, man.
mean, I like Odie in this. Just for the simple fact that we know he's UFC tested, right? Um, he's had a lot of fights in the last 2 years. 5 fights in the last 2 years. Lost to Manel Cop, right? He lost to Tyson Nam, who we know is a dangerous fighter. He's got a win over Charles Johnson. I and he's got a decision over Vergara. I like Odie, man. I like Odie. I don't think Asu has the he's a Kazakhstan guy though. I don't know. I don't think he's got the pedigree yet um, to beat Odie. I
Yeah.
really don't. I mean, he's got 19 fights, 2 losses. Fighting out of Kazakhstan. Oh man, I'm curious to see if he's on Rachmanov's team, which I'm not sure.
I'm not sure,
He
but
is. He is. Oh man. So he's training with the same guys. He's in the same gym as Rachmanov.
He's not that guy
So
though. That's the thing is he's not that guy.
he's not that guy, but he's training with that guy.
Yeah, we saw
Um,
that Kazakhstan guy. Remember, he just debuted against Tyson Nam, and it was a split decision. I think he trains out of the same gym.
um,
I want to say he does.
maybe. I don't. You know what? I did like Odie, but that gym changes a lot for me.
I'm still heavy into Odie here. I think.
Yeah.
I think because I went back and watched the there's an Alexander, yeah, this guy Alexander Dolshaluk. These are both in Brave. I watched that fight, and then I watched this Imram Magaramov fight, both of them.
Hmm.
Um, and it's gonna just be if this guy can hold him down because Asu does not have much for him on the feet. He was getting jabbed up against this Alexander guy, which he ended up submitting in the second round. He got jabbed up at the beginning and 1-2'd in the first round. And I feel like if that guy's going to do that, which I'd never even heard of that guy, then Ode is going to probably put something on you early. And then you're going to have to grapple him. Which, I mean, he probably will get on top of Ode. I just feel like Ode is probably going to land the better shots. And plus 155 for a guy with UFC caliber wins when Asu does not have any UFC caliber wins. I'll take this shot at 155. Although that gym thing, it does kind of rattle me a bit.
It does, but at the same time, I mean, Odie's out of Syndicate, which is
It's a great gym.
no, yeah, they're no, that's no slouch of a gym. I think you know what, I can't flip flop back and forth. I gotta stick with Odie.
Yeah, man. I feel like
Yeah, I think it is going to come down to experience, and I think that's going to be huge. If this kid proves me wrong, I'm all about it. He's going to be a guy to keep an eye on. But this is going to be a tough first fight. Let's put it that way.
for
Regardless
sure.
of what the odds are, this is going to be a tough first fight for this kid.
Yeah, man.
And he's at flyweight. What weight is this fight at?
It'll be at 125, but Ode missed weight last time around.
Because they got Odie at bantam.
Yeah, he missed weight in I believe his last fight, and so he's gonna have to get back down to 126 here. The other guy's small for flyweight as well. Like if they had an atom weight, maybe, that wouldn't be atom weight. That'd be I don't remember what that'd be 115 for dudes. Then this guy could probably fight at 115 because
Yeah.
when I was watching. You should go YouTube his Alexander Dolshulchuk fight. After this, he was getting jabbed off. I mean, then he gets taken down and held down. But Asu was getting pieced up with those 1-2s down the pipe early in the fight. Yeah, so I'll take Sean Woodson even though he's not fighting the Santos guy because I think the dude he's fighting he won on Contender Series. It wasn't a very good win, and they didn't give him a contract. He goes and he wins two fights on a regional scene, and now he's fighting Sean Woodson. So I'll take Sean Woodson. I feel like he's probably going to piece him up. He showed us a lot in that Saldana fight. Uh, I liked it, even though he got his shit rocked multiple times. But I'll take Woodson against I don't remember what his name is, but it's a guy off the Contender Series. I know that.
Yeah, I like Woodson as well. I think he's pretty slick on the feet. So I'm probably not gonna not bet anything on this, but I would take Woodson as well there.
Same. It's not a bettable one for me. It'll probably be Woodson like minus 400 anyway, so I won't even be comfortable with that. All
Yeah,
right.
I don't even know if they have the replacement on DraftKings yet.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I was looking earlier.
Yeah, they don't have anything on it.
Did you see that DraftKings is doing like not just intervals of five now? So like Ode Osborne is like plus 154 instead of plus
Yeah,
155.
yeah.
That's weird.
I mean,
That's the first time I've seen that.
it, they could care less. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. That's good. I'd rather take I feel much more comfortable at plus 154 than plus 155. That means I got a better chance, no?
You like it better? Yeah, no, you're right. Wow, this dude's name is White Kong. That's
Jake Hadley.
that's insane. Yeah, we got Jake White Kong Hadley against the crowd favorite nowadays, Cody Durden. People really like themselves some Cody Durden nowadays. I think it's because he's all over Twitter and stuff. But Hadley, he just beat Malcolm Gordon. He beat Carlos Candelario. Lost to Nascimento, who's out of Charles Do Bronx camp. Durden coming off a win over Charles Johnson, Carlos Mata, and JP Bice. Again, I'm probably going to keep this one pretty short. I think Hadley's going to win. I think Hadley's improving a lot between fights. He's 27 years old. Durden's 34. Durden's got like a gas tank, but I think Hadley all around is a better fighter. He's got, I think, a little bit more slick BJJ. I think he's probably a comparable wrestler to Durden. Durden's a pretty good wrestler. I think Hadley's got the better hands by far. Dude had some hands in that last fight. So I'll take Hadley. He's minus 200 right now. I'm not interested in betting minus 200 in this fight because Durden could definitely push the pace and win, but it'll be old White Kong for me. Plus, I don't know. I kind of like English fighters for some reason, even though I'm not English. But I do like fighters from England nowadays. I don't know why. Tom Aspinall, Leon Edwards, some of my favorites.
I think because it's, I don't want to sound stereotypical, but you have a lot of the English fighters, in my opinion, focus more on the boxing as opposed to the wrestling and everything like that. So I think the on their feet, I think they put a little bit more effort into it. I mean, look at, like you said, look at Davy Grant, right? Perfect example. Davy
Yeah,
Grant,
Davey.
super slick on the feet. Um, you have guys that Aspinall slick on the feet, Leon Edwards slick on the feet. Bisbing slick on the feet. So so I think that's what makes them very entertaining fighters. But Hadley is slick on the ground. Um, in Contender Series, he had a sub. His second UFC fight, he had the sub, and most recently a TKO KO, down due to some ground and pound. So I think he could get a finish here. If anything, I'd wait to see when the odds come out. We're recording this on a Tuesday. As the week goes on a little bit longer, I'd wait and see if we can get him to finish at some kind of plus money, maybe even plus or plus 100, 150.
I like him by sub a lot. I think Durden's a good wrestler, but I don't think Durden's a good submission grappler at all. He
Yeah,
probably
Makayev
has.
sub.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably got some belt to back it up. Like, oh, he'd say, "Oh, I'm a black belt" or whatever. But I think Hadley's got the better submission game here. And if you could honestly go fight ends by submission too, because I don't think Durden is gonna knock out Hadley, and I don't know if Hadley is gonna knock out Durden. It would have to be on the ground, in my opinion. But then again, Durden has gotten clipped on the feet, so I could see Hadley putting something on him on the feet too, because Hadley's got slicker hands. I think between the two.
Yeah.
Looks like we're in agreement on Hadley.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing too crazy. I mean, we're only a couple fights in, but there's nothing too crazy yet on the card. Where I think we're gonna get maybe a little bit further up. Maybe the next fight we might have a little disagreement, but
And nothing that's really getting my balls tingling either. Like last week, I was feeling Derek Lewis. I was feeling Alex. I was feeling some stuff, man. I was ready to go. These fights, it's more so a little bit of a limp dick situation where I'm just kind of, like I'll watch them if I need to. Like, okay, cool, I'm a fan. I'll watch and cheer, but like nothing that's really like I got to get my fucking money into DraftKings for this. But Billy Q, I saw him fight. I saw him fight in Kansas City, and I had money on Edson Barboza. Which, dude, that night I had money on all the right people. That was the best night. I've had of betting in a long ass time. I had like Ian Coutalab, Edson Barbosa, a couple other good ones. But Billy Q, 17-5, coming off of a loss to Barbosa, that knee. Before that, there was a win to Alexander or against Alexander Hernandez, lost to Shane Burgos, win over Gabriel Benitez, lost to Gavin Tucker. Damon Jackson coming off of that knockout loss to Dan Ige, which was very brutal. But before that, he had a win over Pat Sabatini, a win over Daniel Argueta, a win over Camuela Kirk, and a win over Charles Rosa. So some decent wins there for Damon Jackson. But who you feeling, Tim?
Um, I'm taking Damon Action Jackson by sub. Um, it's just you have those guys, and the easiest path for Damon Jackson is to, I think, sub Billy Q. I think that's going to be the way to victory. He's been pretty hot. He ran into Dan Ige, who honestly surprised me. I did not think Dan Ige was going um, to put it on him like that. But I'm gonna go right back to the well, um, and I think Damon Jackson's gonna give him his first loss by submission.
Yeah, I'm feeling. I think my favorite bet of this fight would be the over. I think they're both kind of pillow punchers. Like Billy Q, obviously he puts a pressure on, and those punches get heavy later because you're tired and you've taken 50 of them. But I think Billy Q kind of has soft hands when it comes to just punching power outright. Damon Jackson, I feel the same way. I get that they have wins by knockout, wins by TKO, but just watching them, I don't think that they really carry the most power in their hands, and they both have decent chins. Granted, they both got knocked out in their last fight, but Dan Ige hits like a fucking Mack truck.
Yeah,
Edson
yeah,
Barbosa knee. I mean, I think that would put out 90% of the UFC roster.
yeah,
So I'm taking Billy
yeah.
Q though. I'm taking Billy Q and I'm
Here's
taking the over.
here, here's my thing. So, granted, I like Billy Q. I think he's a dog, but how much damage has he taken
Yeah,
um,
a lot of damage.
in his last couple of fights? Barbosa, obviously we know that one, but even with Alexander Hernandez, Shane Burgos, the Shane Burgos fight was a great fight. Um, I just think he's taken too much damage. So that's why I think Damon Jackson has to be smart, right? He's got to take him to the ground, and he's got to sub him. Like I said, Billy Q hasn't been subbed, but I think Damon Jackson can get the job done. Um, he's got 15 wins by submission. He's got 4 wins by KO TKO. So the easiest way is for him to get a submission. So that's what I'm going with.
We'll
Final
see.
final answer. Final answer.
All right, final answer for you, Damon Jackson. Final answer for me is Billy Q via decision because I can't think of a spot here that Damon Jackson is a ton better than Billy Q. I think Billy Q is probably the better striker here. Cardio wise, I think they're pretty close. Ground game wise, Damon Jackson probably a little bit better in the jiu-jitsu realm. Billy Q a little bit better in the wrestling realm. I don't know. It's a close one. I won't have any money on either side here. If I do have money, it'll be that over 2.5, or just fight goes to decision. But Billy Q is going to be my pick for the sake of just having a pick. And I think the most undefeated betting strategy of all time is the loss, win, loss, win, loss to be a win to continue the pattern. So
So you're saying he's due.
he's
He's
due.
due.
He's due for
Okay.
one. That's what it.
Now,
That's what it's saying.
what if we come out with a line that Damon Jackson is plus 400 to win by sub?
Plus 400, you'd have to get into the. You'd have to be. It'd have to be like plus 700 for me to take that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Billy Q. Billy Q's pretty good defensively on the mat.
Okay. All right.
If
Where's
it's
this fight
plus,
at? Nashville? Nashville? Okay.
we'll see. If it's plus 700 though, I would definitely. It'd be looking me right in the face from my DraftKings. It'd be giving me some eyes all week.
Man, I'm gonna have to keep you updated on that one.
All right, this is gonna be a fun fight in my opinion. Jeremiah Wells versus Carlson Harris. So Jeremiah Wells right now on DraftKings is minus 130. Carlton Harris is plus 110. They're both coming off of wins. Jeremiah Wells over Matthew Semmelsberger. Carlton Harris over Jared Gooden. For me, this is a pretty even fight. I think Jeremiah Wells has the grappling here. Carlton Harris is a sneaky good grappler too, though. Like this is a very crazy interesting fight, and I feel like even odds is fair on this. I think even odds would be pretty decent, and we're getting close to that with that minus 130 plus 110. I'm not really tempted to take Carlson Harris plus 110. I have a question for you, Tim. Were you impressed with Jeremiah Wells in that Semmelsberger fight, or were you kind of like, what the fuck are you doing?
Um, no, I'm not impressed. Well, no, because to get a split decision win over him, and I'm not a big Semmelsberger guy anyway.
Yeah.
Um, it didn't impress me much. Um, and then he knocked out Court McGee. I mean, Christ, how old's Court McGee? Like, I
And
it's
Blood
almost
Diamond. That's a terrible
blood
fighter.
and Warley Alves. So none of those really surprise me. Like they don't really do anything for me. Um, However, even though he got knocked out, uh, when you man up and fight Shavkat Rakhmonov like Carlson Harris has, I think that makes me think he's got that dog in him, and I think he is going there to get a job done. And I kind of would part with my money on Carlson Harris.
That's the
I
vibe I've
think
been getting, man.
I mean he's the height is 6 foot compared to 5'9". Slight reach advantage. Um, Fighting out of Rio, right? I like Carlson Harris here, man. And is he the dog?
Yeah, he's plus 110 right now.
Plus 110. I might sprinkle a little on him now. Um, but yeah, if you take the Shavkat Rakhmonov fight, you got some balls on you, man.
Yeah,
To take that fight.
bro. I mean,
So
no one wanted to take that fight.
no. So you got to give him credit, and like I said, this Jeremiah Wells is fighting Semmelsberger. Okay, Semmelsberger just did well. Court McGee. I mean, these guys are just older. Blood Diamond, not very impressive.
I think I could
And
submit Blood
then
Diamond, dude. Like that dude literally looks like he. I don't know. You fall down and you'd probably like sink in a rear naked choke because he'd just not know what he was doing. Like he looked like he
yeah,
did not know what sport he was partaking in when Jeremiah Wells took him to the mat. And Jeremiah Wells is great on the mat, like he's a Renzo Philly guy. Um, but dude, Blood Diamond just he didn't look like he knew what he was doing.
yeah. It's like I said, the whole thing is if you got somebody that has no problem taking a fight with Shavkat, that's guy's gonna earn a lot of respect, and he's not show that he's not scared to go in there and lay it out and put it on the line. So
Yeah,
that goes a long way in my book. Uh, he has been knocked out twice though. Um, but in this guy's he's split five TKOs, KOs, five subs, and then a lot of decisions. So maybe I would go Carlson Harris by decision.
Yeah, I'm siding with you here. I like Carlson Harris. I think he's probably just a little bit too big and a little bit too strong for Jeremiah Wells. And people who hit hard, like when Semmelsberger knocked down Wells, however many times he did, I thought it was just a big red flag. And Jeremiah Wells is getting older. Granted, Harris is as old as Jeremiah Wells, but I think Wells is becoming a fade very quickly after that Semmelsberger fight, and I think people are jumping on the Carlson Harris side here because it's moved from plus 140 to plus 110. And I'll side with that. I do think Harris probably gets this one done.
Do you know he's got a win over Michelle Pereira?
I did know that
That's how.
actually.
So I was listening to Anik and Florian today, and they were explaining the R's, and if it's a RR, it's a H sound. So if it's just the one R, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like Alex would be Alex Pereira. You almost put a D in at the end.
Parade.
So Michelle Pereira, who got canceled with Wonder Boy, um, Carlston Harris has a win over him.
That's a good win, even though Michelle was like a wild boy flipping, doing kicking people in the head on the ground back then. But still,
Oh
it's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
win.
yeah. I'm just name value.
Yeah.
So, but I think he can. I think he can get it done. I don't know how interesting it's going to be. It could be back and forth, but I'm not getting too excited for this fight. I'll still be probably riding a high after my Damon Jackson by sub.
Misses? You
Um,
mean after it misses?
yeah, so then I'd probably be getting ready for my next lock coming up in the next fight.
Oh, your big lock here. You got a big old fat lock. I
This
got.
this fight
This is a banger. This is a great fight.
this this is a banger, and here's my thing. So it's quite funny because we were just discussing the R's, how they're an H and a D, and if it's RR, it's an H, or beginning with it would be an H, like Hoist Gracie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Ronnie Barcelos, it's not Hani Barcelos. Technically it is, but since he is now on American TV and getting American fans, he goes by Ronnie Barcelos. So we got Ronnie Barcelos versus Kyler Phillips. Um, who are you taking on this one?
All right, so let me just preface this by saying I've been a Kyler Phillips guy. He's been one of my favorite UFC fighters, so I'm taking him here. But I don't think anyone should listen to me when I talk about him because I've been a fan. I think since before he. Let me go look. I know. I remember the first fight I watched of his. Um, Yeah, no, it was this Victor Henry fight because it was outside. I remember Victor Henry, and then he fought Victor Henry after he had this Contender Series fight, and I didn't see him in any of these fights. I didn't see him fight Brad Katona on The Ultimate Fighter, but I watched him fight Victor Henry, and I've been a big fan since because dude is an absolute savage. Um, like he's got some unorthodox shit and stuff. So I'm gonna take him. I will not bet on him because I'm just a fan of his. I really like the way he fights. I think it's fun. He goes for it. He just throws. He throws crazy spinning. He throws crazy jumping. He throws everything. I do think Barcelos is a dog though. Barcelos is a dog. He's always been a dog. He's getting older. So I think Phillips probably beats him here, takes the step up and runs with it. But he's minus. Let me look at the exact odds. He's minus 200 right now. I won't be betting that for Kyler Phillips, but I do think Phillips beat Rowley and Paiva. I do think he beat Rowley and Paiva, even though that's a loss on his record. So yeah, I'll take Phillips. I like Phillips. He's a fun guy to watch. I think he got hit with a suspension recently, so we know he's juiced to the gills, Tropicana style. So yeah, Phillips for me, but it's a pass, and I'm gonna watch it and enjoy it because these two strikers, they know what the fuck they're doing when they're on the feet. They're not scrubs, so I'll be watching and cheering for Kyler Phillips.
All right, so Kyler Phillips training out of MMA Lab with Tim Welsh. That's Tim Welsh's gym
Sugar Sean
with
too.
Sugar Sean, right?
Yep.
I think we're gonna get a grappling match here. I really both strikers. I think we might get a grappling match, and I know the boys at the MMA Lab are really really good. Like I think Sean is a phenomenal grappler, and we'll get to him in a couple weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but I think I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna go with Ronnie Barcelos, and I'm also gonna sprinkle a little Ronnie by finish. Um, nobody wants to fight these guys. And when you're out there and you're giving it a go, it was 6 months ago. He's had time to recover, shit off. Um, Decent win against Trevin Jones. Uh, kind of a not so good loss to Victor Henry. And then a loss to Teamer, who we're actually going to see tonight fighting Brad Katona.
That's a banger, dude.
I
That's a
think
fucking
Ronnie needs this
banger.
win to stay relevant. Yes, he's getting older, um, but two of those last three losses are two guys that are fantastic. Even though Teamer's on the Ultimate Fighter right now, Teamer is no joke, and Umar Nurmagomedov is no joke either. So I think it's going to come down to experience. Um, Kyler Phillips coming off that layoff more than a year, right? So I'm gonna go Ronnie Barcelos, man. I think it's gonna be a grappling match, believe it or not. So I'm gonna go. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go Ronnie under 2.5. I think he's gonna get it done.
Yeah. I don't think he's getting the finish over my boy Kyler Phillips. Looks like we're gonna have at least two spots against each other. You'll
But you
have
don't think
Ronnie.
yeah, I don't. I mean, but look at his last win over Rojo. I mean, you thought he beat Paiva?
I thought he beat Paiva, but Paiva's not all that great anyway.
His best win is probably Yadong Song.
Yep.
And that was over 2 years ago.
It's a pretty good win though.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
guess so.
think if anyone's gonna take it to the mat, it'll be Kyler, and I think he'll get Ronnie's back. That's kind of
I
what I
don't
think
know,
would
man.
happen on the mat.
You think so? Those.
Barcelos was a good wrestler, but he's not really used it much in the UFC.
Let's see. What gym is he in? Pro Fighters? I don't know. I just have such a hard time, and it's gonna be. Yeah, I don't know who He's not in one of those big gyms.
Yeah, you know, he's a
Um,
smaller gym.
yeah, I still think it's just one of those things. I feel like it's almost by DNA. You know what I mean? Um,
He's just built
yeah,
different.
looks like yeah, like his father's his coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I would love to know who his uh, father is a black belt under. That would be interesting to me.
I
But
think I think the other thing too is Phillips Kyler's been training with Sugar Sean for this title fight, probably getting in the best work that they've gotten. Really, really getting ready. And what's he been drilling? Kyler Phillips. He's been drilling, trying to take down Sugar Sean O'Malley. Why? Because Sugar Sean needs to be ready to get those takedown defenses in against Aljo. So I don't know though, man. It's gonna be a crazy fight in my opinion. It's gonna go on the feet. It's pretty even on the mat. Who's got the advantage? We disagree. I think Kyler does. You think Ronnie does? We're gonna probably see. To be honest,
yeah,
it's gonna be good.
yeah.
I've got a strong opinion about this next one though.
Ah,
Bahamundes versus Ludovic Mr. Highlight Klein, which that can't be his nickname anymore. You can't have a nickname Mr. Highlight and then go to draw with Jai Herbert. Um, like I'm just saying, man. Like if you go to a draw against Jai Herbert, take Mr. Highlight out of your name. But I'm sticking with it. I'm going Ludovic Klein here. I think Bahamundes is a fraud on the mat. I think he's a great kickboxer. I think the guy has some really nice kickboxing chops. He's 6'3", which is huge, but I think Ludovic Klein is going to be able to double leg, clinch, and trip this guy, and I think he's going to be able to hold him down. I don't think Bahamundes is going to have what it takes to get back up and keep him off him. And Klein was showing a little bit more of a push to wrestle against Jai Herbert, and I think he's going to need it here. If it's on the feet, Bahamundes probably beats the shit out of Ludovic Klein. But on the mat, I think Ludovic Klein is a much better fighter. And let me check the current odds. But I'll probably have a bet on Ludovic Klein. Yeah, he's plus 190. I'm definitely going to have a bet on Ludovic Klein and then Ludovic Klein by decision here. And I think it's pretty clear. Bahamundes is rightfully favored. I just don't think I think he's going to get fraud checked here. He's going to have to drop one, and then he's going to have to go back to the drawing board and work on his grappling because I don't think he's got the grappling to stand up at the UFC level. And we're going to probably at least see it tested here. And if he passes with flying colors, good for him. I'll move on. I'll take my loss on the chin, and I'll move on. But Ludovic Klein for me by grapple. By grapple fuck.
yeah, I'm with you on that. I do the same thing. The only thing I am worried about is I will probably take a little sprinkle on Bahamundes by KO as well. Um, I think he could give him. Obviously, I think he can knock him out. Landwehr subs Ludwig, Michael Trezano, which aren't really Landwehr. Okay, he had his moment of fame, and then he kind of got a reality check of where he's at. Ludwig Klein, I don't think those losses aren't to decent guys though. I think Bob Mendez could put him out, but I also think Ludwig Klein could, like you said, wrestle fuck him. This is a tough one. So this is what I'm gonna do. Um, Klein by decision, right?
Yeah, I'd say
And
that's his
and
best
then
chance.
I'm gonna sprinkle Bahamundes by KO TKO.
Yeah,
It
Bahamundes has that snappy striking, man.
yeah. So what I'm gonna have to do is wait to see what those lines come out as. But straight up, if I had to pick money line, um, I would just go straight Ludwig Klein because I think it's better money.
That's what I would
To be
take.
honest,
Plus 200, like at that point, when you get into those plus 200s and above, you're looking at guys who do they have a chance in this fight? Do they have a real path? And I think Klein does have a real path, with that grappling.
yeah, I think he does. I think he does as well. Let's see. Did they? I don't even see it. You see it? Yeah, plus 190. Yeah, so it'll be good. Bahamas is minus 230.
It's a little wide for
Yeah,
me on Bahamondes. Like I just don't think he should be this early into his career, not really being tested. He shouldn't be that high.
yeah. That does seem a little out of pocket. Um, I mean, maybe Roosevelt Roberts was a good win. Yeah, contender series alum. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. The kid's been hot.
Yeah.
He's got the trifecta. His last three fights: a knockout, a sub, and a decision. So we'll see. We'll see.
It's going to
But
be a fun one to
yeah,
watch for sure. That one will be a good one
it
to
should
watch.
be. And yeah, unless Ludwig Klein just lays on him for 15 minutes.
It's probably what I'll be hoping for.
Yeah.
Lay and
Oh,
pray,
me
baby. Sit your butt on his butt and just sit there in half guard. Little punch, little elbow every once in a while. Just sit there.
There
Man,
we go.
this fight is kind of like the biggest loser here. These two dudes fucking suck. Like, I mean, Alexa Kamer, who did he lose to? Let's look at this. Nikolai and then William Knight. William Knight is god awful. Dude is just a bodybuilder, like cosplaying as a UFC fighter. He was just a massive dude who was throwing punches. Tanner Boser got like his head knocked off by Ion Cutelaba, which I love Ion Cutelaba, so nothing against him there. Lost to Rodrigo Nascimento. Beat Ovent St. Preux, which everyone does nowadays. Lost to Ir Latifi. Ir Latifi. And then
Yep.
lost to Andrei Arlovsky. So, I mean, Tanner Boser, kind of awful. Alexa Kamer, kind of awful. Boser's the favorite here. Kamer's the underdog. I think I'll be watching this sloppy fight through my fingers, kind of on the edge of a nap. Okay, I feel kind of disrespectful to the fighters. They're still UFC fighters, but I don't think this is going to be a very good fight. I'll probably avoid any sort of bet on this. If I had to pick a side, probably Tanner Boser. I'd take Tanner Boser on this. But yeah, there's not gonna be a bet for me here.
I am going to probably take um same game, same fight parlay here at to win by knockout and to be under 2.5. Both these guys are fighting for their jobs.
Yep.
If I had to pick who I think is gonna win straight up money line, and I might do this as well, is I might do uh, Alexa Kamer by TKO under 2.5. He's younger. Oh, I have Alexa. Alexa, stop, please. Um, yeah.
Alexa, turn on.
Always. Okay, now you got her fired up.
Dude, she's ready to go. She's excited for you. I think that means you have to bet Kamer here.
Yeah, I am. So I'm gonna do Kamer 2.5 by knockout. I think Boster's fighting for his job. He's gonna throw it all out on the line. He's got a ton of more mileage on him, right? We're talking 31 fights compared to 8 fights. Um, we're talking 32 years old to 27 years old. I just think that he's taking too many losses. He knows his job's on the line. Kamertha knows his job is on the line as well. So they're going to throw it out there, and I expect to see some bombs. And I'm going to go with the younger fighter that's taking less damage and who I think can get the job done.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm fully on board with that too. Like, I don't like Tanner Boser either. He's kind of a little bit of a twerp. Um, So yeah, I'm on your side here. I'll take Kamer with you. I won't bet it, but I'll flip. I'm a flip flop here. I said Tanner Bozer was my pick earlier. I'm headed to your side here. I'm going with
Yeah,
Kamer.
I mean, so he's right now, Kamer, he's plus 136. So he's plus 136. So if you sprinkle, you get one of those nice little props that's under two, plus 20% or plus 10% or whatever it is on DraftKings, you can get that. Um, like how I did with Bonfim under
Yeah,
2.5 by sub. This I would just do uh, Kamer under 2.5 by TKO. It's probably honestly about plus 400 at least, and then if you can get a little extra bonus on top of it. But the damage that Tanner Browser has taken, I can't ignore that.
yeah. I'm a fan. I'll go for it too. And if we both fall victim to the Alexa Kamer train, then it is what it is. This is the
And
people's
not
main
for
event
nothing.
here.
Yeah, and this kid hasn't. He's lost a split decision and a unanimous decision. He's had a lot of time off as well, though that does make me nervous. Um, but younger, fresher, you have to put that in the equation.
Yeah. Speaking of younger, fresher, we got the emo Brazilian, our boy Diego Lopez, that both of us picked over Mosvar Evloev, which did not work out betting wise. Um, but dude, did he have him in some nasty, nasty spots there? And that's Mosvar Evloev. He was threatening
Yeah,
him, Tim.
he was, and this kid really, really surprised me. Um, I don't, to take him to a decision. Um, was pretty damn good.
Yep.
Are you gonna ride with him again?
Oh, dude. I mean, against a guy with the nickname of Governor, I mean, he's gonna finish him in the first round. It's not even a
You
thought.
oh
First round
wow.
finish, man. I'm taking Diego Lopez. First round finish. Mark it, lock it, pop it here, dude. Diego Lopez. This is Alexa Grasso's submission and grappling coach. What happened? Dude, she just fucking submitted Valentina Shevchenko. He has an emo haircut in his picture. He just almost beat a top 10 145 pounder in Malzvar Evloev. The guy's 5'11, fighting Gavin Tucker, who is the governor, who's 5'6. He has a 6-inch reach advantage. Tucker is 37. Diego Lopez is 28, not even in his prime yet. He's killing him. Dude, they're gonna have like Dana's gonna have to be there carrying him out of the fucking octagon. First round, Diego Lopez, however he wants. He's gonna butcher this guy. Think of when you think of this fight, think of Thiago Moises versus Yoel Alvarez. That's exactly what this fight is gonna be.
Oh
He's gonna
God,
hit him with elbows. He's gonna chop him up, and
can't hear.
it's gonna be his coming out party.
He's gonna butcher this dude. Teddy got all fired up.
He's gonna butcher him. He's gonna butcher him.
Got all fired up.
He's gonna butcher him. He's dude, it's and he's a good price here too. He's minus. Let me check what the odds are right now. But he is. I mean, this is my boy for this card. I had Alex Pereira last card. This is my boy. First round. Damn, he's minus 170 now. That sucks. But him in the first round. Done. Lock it in. I'm hot on this guy. I think he's like I said, man. Yo Alvarez versus Thiago Moises. That's what this is gonna look like.
Now you don't have any. I mean, he just got knocked out by Dan Ige, but that was also 2 years ago. 2 years and 4 months. He's older. I think they're giving this fight in. And I apologize if this was in your unheard rant. Besides the cat is the only one that heard you, but 37 years old Gavin Tucker versus 28-year-old Diego Lopes. Um, this seems like them doing Diego Lopes a favor as saying, "We're going to get you one here after that performance you just had." I think that's what they're going to do for him.
I agree, man. I think I just like he's the better all around fighter and he's more dangerous everywhere. Gavin Tucker's going to have to just sit on him if he wants to win. Gavin Tucker's going to have to lay on him and stay comfortable. And Mazvar Evloev was not even able to do that. So take it for what you
Yeah,
will. I think Evloev's much better than Tucker, though.
yeah, we're talking huge age difference, huge height difference, huge reach difference. On paper, this should be a certified um, certified whooping.
Agreed, man.
Especially how we just saw him with Movsar Evelev. So I'm excited for this kid. I think he's gonna make uh, a move up the rankings. He will definitely be ranked at one point, I believe.
I'm about to say something, Tim, and you're gonna have to you're gonna have to take a deep breath and, and think about what I said before you yell at me. This dude reminds me of Charles Oliveira, man.
No.
Yeah, I'm
If
telling you,
anything,
bro.
anything more of he's got that Kyle Barallo tattoos and look
Yeah, I'm
with the
talking fight style though. Like
fight style.
he's got the submissions, he's got the kind of unpolished striking that Charles did when he first came in the UFC. He reminds me of him, man.
I don't. You think so?
I mean, maybe he'll lose and get cut on Saturday, and then he won't remind me of Charles Oliveira anymore. But for now, I mean, he's got like the weird length at 145 too that Charles kind of has, where Charles isn't like super long, but he's like kind of weirdly long at 155. I don't know. It's like an odd body type plus fighting style that like they both kind of remind me of each other, even though Diego Lopez is literally in his second fight in the UFC and is not very good right now.
Yeah. I mean, but we saw his potential.
We did. Just like with
How?
Charles, man. We knew his potential, he just always gave up.
Yeah. But I mean, you can never rule anything out. But I think no, maybe. But Charles has been in UFC for so long.
Yeah.
We saw him as pretty much a kid. Granted, this he's still young, but he's not as young as Charles was. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. I will never say never. We don't know how bad this guy wants it. Anything is possible. Obviously, look at Charles. That's probably the best story in MMA. I think his story is much better than Brandon Moreno, even though Brandon Moreno got cut and he fought his way back and all
Charles is
that
the
stuff.
best story in UFC by
I
far,
think
man.
Charles is he's that guy. I think Diego Lopes a little bit too old to be that guy, but their styles, yes, can be similar since they can do it both on the feet and on the ground.
Yeah, man. I'm excited though. I'm excited to see Diego fight, see what he's got here. His next fight.
What I did notice, are we fading? It looks like we're fading Canada.
Yeah, we might have to do a full fade Canada parlay because we're faded Bozer and we're fading Gavin Tucker.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a nice little parlay. I'm gonna note that and jot that down of Kamara and Lopes to win and in a little parlay.
I like it. I mean, Canada's never really been good until we went to Canada last fight card, and they all of a sudden won like every single fight. But until
Yeah.
then, Canada never had like crazy success outside of a couple fighters. This fight's gonna be an interesting one. Kennedy Nchukwu, the African Savage, number 15 light heavyweight in the world. Dude is 6'5" with an 83-inch reach versus Dustin Jacoby, who's coming off of a loss to Asmat Mirzakhanov, which I saw in person, and then a loss to Khalil Roundtree. And Kennedy just beat up on Devin Clark and Ion Kutalaba, and I'm done fading Kennedy. I tried. I gave it my best shot with Ion Kutalaba and then Devin Clark. I bet against
Yep.
Kennedy both times. I'm done. I think he's going to take Dustin Jacoby to the mat, and I think he's going to put his elbows in Dustin Jacoby's forehead. And I think that's going to be the fight, and I don't have anything more to say on that. Easy win for Kennedy, in my opinion, if he takes it to the mat. If he keeps it on the feet, a little bit tougher because Dustin Jacoby's decent, but Kennedy, probably the clear side here. But humor me, Tim. You on
So you
Dustin?
think you let me ask this. So you think Njoku's grappling is decent?
Yeah, I surprisingly think the dude is a decent grappler.
Is it because he trains with Damon Jackson?
No, Damon Jackson sucks.
I think I think um, being at Fortis MMA and everything's kind of turning around for him. He's with Safe Side. Uh, he's on a 3-fight win streak. Um, all finishes, 2 KOs and a sub. This one is. I'm definitely not taking the dog on this. I do like Kenny
Yeah.
and Joku, and that standing guillotine choke was so John Jones esque.
Yup.
Um, I have to. You have to. I think this is. If you're gonna bet something under 1.5, I think this will be the one to take. I'd be very very surprised um, if it goes to a decision. If you're unsure about the under 1.5, I would feel pretty safe in going under 2.5.
Do you know what the under
But
2.5 is? Because I got the odds right here. Take a guess.
it's probably plus or minus 310.
It's plus 105. Under 2.5.
No,
Yeah, I'm staring at it right here. Under
really,
2.5 plus 105. That's a bad line.
that's a terrible line,
That is a
and
bad
I'm
line.
I'm gonna have to log in and maybe lay a little something right now. I don't understand. I mean, granted, we're early, we haven't seen weight cuts and stuff like that. But if you have a guy that's finished, he's on a 3-fight win streak and he's finished his last 3 fights, going against a guy that got maybe because the other guy lost by decisions, but his back's against the wall um, as well. And he's in the last 8 months, he's gone 6 full rounds. And Khalil Roundtree is no easy out, but man, you're taking some shots from Khalil Roundtree. Yeah, I think the age is going to be a factor here in Miles. Believe it
Yep.
or not, all those decisions by for Dustin Jacoby, right? And one of them, when one of his wins was a knockout, right?
Yeah.
But that adds up. You don't get paid. You don't get paid by the minute. You get paid by the fight. So if you don't need to be in there that long, it's no bueno. Um, Njoku under 2.5. Um,
Me too.
that's yeah plus 105.
I want to see what those two. Njoku plus under 2.5. It won't let me same game that right now because it's too early in
No.
the week. But I'll definitely
Well,
be betting that. Have you seen how it looks when Kennedy like grabs onto people? Like he looks like he shouldn't be that strong because he's super long and lanky. But when he grabs onto dudes, like he's got a grip on them. They can't get away from him. And I feel like Jacoby's gonna fall victim to that too. Like even in a clinch, Kennedy's got some fucking grip strength. He's got some back muscles, and the dude is surprisingly decent at submissions as well. We saw that against Devin Clark, but also he's threatened it in the past, and I mean
um,
I'm a fan of Kennedy here.
so I just put something together again. Um, I did the uh, fade Canada in this fight under 2.5. So it's Khmer Diego Lopes in this fight under 2.5. It is plus 668. So
Ooh,
that's
sneaky.
that's sneaky, nice, chunky little parlay.
Yeah, that's almost like the Devil's parlay 666, dude.
Yeah,
668 there. That thing's. I think that's gonna cash. I might do a one also of Diego Lopez and then Kennedy, just straight up both of them parlayed. I might throw something on that because Kamer's the
yeah,
one I'm the most scared of there,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. But our theory is solid.
Yeah, fuck Canada. If there's anyone Canadian who listen to this, sorry. But just for this weekend, fuck Canada for now.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, man. It's the what could have been for Tatiana Suarez, man. She's still only 32, almost 33, but she was like on the cusp of a title shot 4 years ago. Let me see exactly how long ago it was. Yeah, literally 4 years ago was when she beat Nina Nunes, and she had just beaten Carla Esparza, Alexa Grasso, so former champ, champ right now, and then she beat this Vivian Pereira, Nina Nunes, who wasn't bad at the time, and then she just beat Montana De La Rosa. Montana De La Rosa is not a bad fighter, but it is what it is. Jessica Andrade coming off a loss over Xiaonan Yan, lost to Erin Blanchfield, who she got grapple fucked by, and then a win over Lauren Murphy, Amanda Lemos, and Cynthia Calvillo. So, Jessica Andrade, former champ, plus 300 against Tatiana Suarez. Are you taking the swing, or are you just going to ride with Tatiana, what could have been Suarez?
I think Suarez is still very dangerous. I'm definitely gonna wait to see what the lines are, and if it's possible, maybe parlay Suarez under 2.5 by submission. Um, I think that's the way she's gonna get it done. We saw Aaron Blanchfield. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be the same thing, the same exact thing. Um, I think Andrade, just like when she got knocked out by um, Janan, right?
Yeah,
Yao
Jan
Janan.
Jonan.
Yeah, when she got knocked out by her, Andrade just pressing, 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 made a mistake, circled into it, and got clipped. I think she's gonna be too aggressive. Throw something wild. Tatiana's gonna scoop her up, take her down, and sub her. I think it's gonna be pretty quick as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the only thing I'm interested in betting here would be Andrade by knockout. That's literally the only thing I'd be interested in. I would need a big number on that. Like, she's sitting plus 300 on the money line. I need to see like plus 700 on Andrade by knockout for me to bet that. Because
Yeah.
Suarez probably gonna win. Like she's probably gonna just take her down and sit on her and then get a rear naked choke in the second round or something. That's probably like a big opportunity there, but and it'll probably happen. I just think that Suarez is super clunky on the feet. Like she looks robotic. She reminds me of like a Pat Sabatini type where she's kind of like a little bit of a
Okay.
liability on the feet, which she doesn't really need to be great on the feet when you're this good of a grappler. Like she's Olympic level wrestling for sure. But Andrade, if somehow she can stuff one or two takedowns to start the fight, she's very live to just fucking nuke her in the first round. Like very, very live to nuke her in the first round. So that would be my angle. Would be like if that's plus 650 or plus 700, taking some Andrade by knockout. But if it's not that, if it's only like plus like 500, I'll steer clear and just I'll kind of cheer for Tatiana Suarez because I hope she gets a dub here and moves on up the rankings and gets a shot at a title soon enough because she is getting a little older and I'd like to see her get at least a shot at it because she was so fucking good, man. Like 4 years ago when she was fighting, I just remember thinking this girl's gonna beat everybody.
Yeah. I think. I mean, Andrade is only 31 years old. She's a younger fighter. It seems crazy.
She's got
She's a
miles
younger.
left for sure.
I don't know though. I don't think she does. She's 31, which isn't old, right? But she's also got 35 fights in her, man. 35 fights, and 11 of those are losses compared to Tatiana's 9 fights that are all wins. Granted, she was off for 4 years, right? But Andrade,
She does have an
another one.
OnlyFans now too. That might be the
Who does?
indicator. Jessica Andrade.
Yeah, and she's been knocked out 5 times. And when you're in, 10 decisions, so that means you're a lot of miles, man.
Yeah,
I don't.
she does. She's got the heavier hands here though. That's literally her only shot is a knockout. That's about it.
Yeah, and her last win by knockout was September 2021 against Cynthia Calvillo.
Which is a grapple heavy fighter as well. Who
Yeah,
knows? Suarez probably wins here though. I mean, if I had to, like, if they were like gun to my head, just pick the winner, I'm taking Suarez every time. But like, DraftKings comes to my door and says you have to pick something plus money in this fight to
as
hit,
far as
I'll take Andrade.
by submission and under,
That's what you're gonna
and
bet.
then most takedowns, and juice that parlay up a little bit.
Most takedowns is pretty much a fucking lock, to be honest.
On Tatiana, possibly doing submission under 2.5, most takedowns. I think that would be
Yeah,
a pretty decent parlay.
I think that's probably the best parlay possible for that fight. It's probably not going to be that great of odds. You'll probably get plus money on it, but it'll be pretty juiced because she wins so many fights that way.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the way to go for Tatiana though. She probably wins submission. She probably gets the most takedowns, probably under 2.5. So yeah, I mean that's probably the largest portion of possible outcomes for that fight. 120%.
All right.
Main event. You ready?
Main. Um. Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready.
This is this is a good fight. Rob Font versus Corey Sandhagen. Rob Font's a big ass underdog here. Plus two. Let me go check exact odds on DraftKings since they do change quite a bit. He is plus 230 right now. Is Rob Font, and I'm a Rob Font backer. I backed him in that last fight against Adrian Yanez when he was plus 200 ish. I backed him against Cody Garbrandt. I backed him against Marlon Moraes. I backed him against Jose Aldo too, which he ended up losing. I also really like Corey Sandhagen. I backed him against Song Yadong. I backed him against Chito Vera, which the fact that that was a split decision was the worst thing I've ever seen in MMA.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
And I'm a huge Cheeto fan. I love Cheeto. Um. But I agree with you.
Yeah, that was bad. But here, my one pause here for not laying some heavy dough on Corey Sandhagen is he really struggled against Jan, Peter Yan. with his
Mhm.
jab because Jan was popping a jab out at him. He really struggled with the jab. And Rob Font has an educated, smart fucking jab. His jab is like a laser beam to the nose. So that's my only issue. But other than that, I think Sandhagen should clear him. Sandhagen can take him to the ground. Sandhagen should be able to keep his range and kick him. Sandhagen should be able to do whatever he wants in the kickboxing range. The only danger is just getting your face jabbed off by Rob Font. And Rob Font also has a little bit of power if he follows that jab up, but for the most part here, Sandhagen's got everything. It's just that jab that scares me. And that's literally the entire thing. Sandhagen's younger. Sandhagen is only at a 1.5-inch reach disadvantage, not a big deal. He's 5'11 to Rob Font's 5'8, so he's got a slight height advantage. I think Sandhagen's got him covered here. He can grapple. He's been showing those grappling improvements. Font, not much grappling in that. He's got that pressure boxing style, and that's what he's got. He's literally just Calvin Cater at a lower weight. That's what he's got. And he's going to beat a bunch of guys doing that, and he's going to lose to the top guys doing that. And I think this is a situation where he's just going to lose to a top guy who's going to be able to fire back with stronger. He's going to be able to counter that jab in situations if he can time it right. Um,
Yeah.
and so, I mean, I'm on Sandhagen here. I'm a Font fan though. I really thought he was the dark horse of the division before that Chito Vera fight. Because after the Aldo fight, I still believed in him, and then he got beat by Chito, and I still kind of thought he was a dark horse. I don't believe that anymore. I don't think he's going to be a champ or anything. I'm a fan of him, so maybe I'm a little bit biased there, but I'll take Sandhagen here. I think Sandhagen. Um, I think that'll be a good fight if Sean O'Malley wins and then we get Sandhagen O'Malley at some point. I think that's a banger.
Um, I go back and forth with this. Um,
You're telling me there's a chance?
uh, I'm thinking there's a really good chance that Rob Font pulls this off.
Dude, don't get me
Um,
tempted here. Oh man.
here's how I'm thinking. Um, Cheeto's not a ground guy, right?
No.
And what really cost Cheeto that fight? Um, Cheeto waits. He takes rounds off, and then next thing you know, the fight's over. And if he doesn't get the finish, he loses. I think if Rob Font can start hot, he can piece up um, Corey Sandhagen.
I agree.
Rob Font, he fought Cheeto, and went to a decision. So I think if he starts and he can go toe to toe with Cheeto, granted he lost to Cheeto, Corey beat Cheeto, that's MMA math, but you're not factoring in um, Cheeto starting hot.
Here's the thing, man. Rob
I
Font.
think I think I think Sandhagen gets knocked out.
Oh, dude, I'd be very happy to see that because Font is my dude when it comes to the 135-pound division. But my thoughts, man, is Rob Font is like such a good minute winner. The only reason he lost to Aldo and Cheeto is because they landed big shots on him. Does Sandhagen have that power to
No.
land those big shots? That's really the question here. He could probably get a couple takedowns on Font as well, but Font's probably gonna win like the volume and the in between moments because he's just gonna march him down and throw this light popping jab on him, which the judges love to see. So it's just can Sandhagen land some bombs on him that equate to more on the scoring criteria than Rob Font's small tap tap, follow it up, tap tap, follow it up. And I don't know. Sandhagen's not really in the business of knocking people out.
Not recently. Um, but I'll tell you who is recently Rob Font.
Rob
And
Font. Yo.
when he knocked out well, then dropped him and then finished him off. Adrian Yanez, that really surprised me, and he looked fucking amazing.
Yeah, he
So
did.
to look that amazing and have Rob Font right now money line plus 230. I mean, it's tough. You know who's on this skid, um, and I think it goes without saying that their stand up is um, ridiculous. Is Calvin Cater?
Yep.
Calvin Cater has a phenomenal stand up. He's in the New England Cartel with Rob Font. These guys are phenomenal when it comes to striking. And Cater lost to Arnold Allen and Josh Emmett.
He beat
Arnold
Josh Emmett.
Allen, Arnold Allen, fast tracked. Obviously, we know that too. Well, not fast track, but um, title contender. Josh Emmett fought for the title, beat Giga. But that guy is a phenomenal partner. He's 5'11". He's got the 72-inch reach. So that's who he's going to be doing a lot of the training with. So I think Rob Font, uh, his guy to replicate Corey Sandhagen frame wise is Calvin Cater.
That's a
And
good guy to have.
and I think so. He's going to be fighting a less skilled stand up guy with a shorter reach than Calvin Cater. Oh baby, I'm in on Rob Font by KO.
You surprised me, man. I thought you were gonna be taking Corey Sandhagen here.
First that's the first initial thought, but you have to look more than just face value.
I think I think I'm kind of fading my own bias here because I like Rob Font a lot. I'm probably just not taking him because of my bias, but I don't know, man.
He is older,
He is. He's
but
36.
at the same time, I mean, he lost to Cheeto and he lost to Jose Aldo.
And
I
he
mean,
was beating them too. Like he was beating them both, and then he just got
yeah,
knocked down.
and Sandhagen lost to Jan and to TJ Dillashaw,
Yo,
which that was even questionable because I kind of think Sandhagen won the Dillashaw fight.
me too. And I hate TJ Dillashaw, so I was even cheering for Sandhagen there.
Um, but I think Rob Font has the power to put him to sleep. Corey Sandhagen's never been put to sleep before. I don't think. I'll just double check that. No losses by knockout. Rob Font can make history here
He could. He
in
could be the
Nashville,
first. Pop the cherry.
representing the New England cartel, and he might put him out. I'm gonna go Rob Font by KO.
It's a big prediction. Popping the chin cherry.
That's gonna be. Oh, I think he can do it. I really think he can do it.
I'm gonna stick to Corey Sandhagen, but it does make me happy that you're on the Rob Font side. I'm gonna be cheering for Rob Font the entire time, for certain.
I
Man,
mean,
it's a decent card actually. Now that we've talked about it, the
your
card's a little bit better than I expected.
your dog song. How much did that cut affect him during that fight?
Honestly, I don't think that much.
You don't think so?
Not that much. I think it affected him, but I don't think it was the reason that he lost. Granted, they did stop it because of the cut, but I think Sandhagen was going to beat him even outside of the cut.
He was gonna beat him on the scorecards.
Yeah,
Your dog song could have slapped him at any moment.
Yeah, yeah, he could have.
That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised Cheeto. I'm very surprised Cheeto um, didn't get the finish over Sandhagen. Rob Font's not going to start slow like that. Rob Font's going to come out with a
Guns
chip on his
blazing, man.
shoulder. Yeah, chip on his shoulder, ready to rock. Coming off of a beautiful um, knockout over Adrian Yanez. Oh my gosh, you got to go Rob Font by KO.
I'll be cheering for it. I'm gonna,
That's
I'm gonna be cheering for you, Tim.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out if MMA math does work because technically, do the math, Sandhagen should win. So,
MMA math
well,
fucking sucks.
but it does work. That's the only thing. It does work. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But good card. It's a good card, not a great card, not a terrible card, but it is a good card.
Yeah, there's gonna be some good moments on it. My boy Lopez, and then that main event's gonna be a banger, I think. I mean, I would say that fight end by KO or inside the distance under, just fight ends inside the distance would be a good bet there. I don't know what they'll put it at because both these guys have a lot of decisions, so we might be able to get plus money at Rob Font and Sandhagen ends inside the distance, but I think one of them is getting slept. If I had to bet on it.
Yeah. So you can look at we could do another Diego Lopes, Njoku, Suarez, and Rob Font. All of those fights to not go the distance. That would probably be a nice little chunker.
I mean, I feel like all those are pretty high clip that those don't go to decision.
Yeah.
Because I feel like most of these that are going to go to decision are going to be these ones down here, like in the lower side.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm excited, and then we got some other good fights coming up next week and the following week. So I'm pumped, man. I'm
Yeah,
pumped. It's always good. And then I think we're 2 weeks away, 2 or 3 weeks away from Dana White Contender Series coming back.
thank God, dude. I'm
So
gonna be watching that for sure.
yeah, and then tonight in a little bit we got Teamer versus Brad the Serial Killer Katona.
Yeah, that man's got bodies. Like he's gonna be Netflix documentary in 20 years. They're gonna
Oh
find him under his octagon or something. He's gonna
yeah,
have like one in his backyard.
yeah. We'll be watching the ID channel, and we'll be like former UFC fighter Brad
Brad
Katona.
Katona kills
Yeah,
teammate.
yeah. They'll do the reenactments, and you'll have Connor come out, and
Yeah.
he'll
Oh, I
give
knew
his
that little
opinion.
knucklehead. He'll
Yeah.
be yelling shit.
Speaking of Connor, before we go, um, Justin Gaethje tweeted out, sign the contract to
Dude,
Connor.
you're a big Connor fan. You don't want to see that.
Connor replied,
What did Connor say?
and with a signed picture of Conor McGregor for Justin Gaethje. He gave him signed a little photo for him.
That's funny. That's funny. That fight happens. Gaethje gets a murder charge. You can leave Brad Katona alone, but if Gaethje and Conor McGregor at this stage of Conor's career get into the octagon, Justin Gaethje would do some bad things, Tim. And I know you love Conor, so I don't
I
want to
know.
go too hard, but
I'm a realist though. At the same time, I
yeah,
think this is just a ploy to uh, get Michael Chandler even more pissed off.
probably, man.
Rattle a couple cages. Um, I think it could all be smoke and mirrors, waiting for Nate to get rid of his business. Oh, Nate's fighting this week too. Not that anybody cares, but um,
He's
get
probably
ready for
gonna
that.
lose, bro. Fucking lose to
Yeah,
Jake Paul, man.
I'm not into that. I'm not into that, but I would like to see Nate come back and then get that trilogy out of the way.
Yeah, bro. I want
Um,
to see Ben Askren fight Jorge Masvidal again.
nope, I don't want. Don't want to see that either.
I want to see that, dude. I want to see they want to do MMA. I want to see if Ben Askren gets fucking kneed in the face again. He'd probably do this. What if he did the same exact thing again?
And first of all, Ben Askren is got plastic hips now. There's no way. It's all chit chat because they're looking for that rush. He already got that payday from Jake Paul.
He got a couple
So
milli for that for sure.
yeah, so let him run his wrestling school and hop on Twitter and say this, that, and the other thing. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, bro.
And
Go ahead. Sorry.
it's like watching two 90-year-old men fight over a handicap parking spot. It's like, we'll
Driving
watch it.
Buicks.
Yeah, we'll watch it because it's so bad.
Yeah. I was, dude.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, man, is Ben Askren like people don't understand how high level, like what like level of kind of celebrity he is in the wrestling world as well. Like Ben Askren is set for life. If he wants to just run a wrestling school and go and do like seminars and stuff, like he was an Olympic level wrestler. If you were a wrestling family, which like in the Midwest, all the boys really wrestle. Like he was kind of a household name for a little while there.
hmm
So the dude is set. Like he's just fine. I hope he fights Ben or Masvidal and somehow grapple fucks Masvidal for 3 rounds and makes Jorge very angry. That'd make me laugh very hard.
it would look like the Colby fight again, as long as Ben didn't get knocked out in the first 30 seconds of each round.
Yeah, dude, Ben has like the build of like an elderly woman. He like can't
He
lean all
does.
the way back. He's like leaned forward, and his
Yeah.
hips are. My goodness.
I'd rather see those guys just do their own thing, get some ventures going, and be done with the fighting. But it's hard. It's hard. I understand it. When you're that into something, you're that passionate, you've done it your whole life. It's hard not to be competing on that stage. So,
Especially when you've been competing for. They've probably been competing 30 years of their life. You know.
oh yeah, especially Street Judas. He's been out there, in the streets of Miami.
Oh yeah, dude. He's still probably getting in fights in the streets of Miami.
No, he's all about the money, which is good.
Yeah.
So
Got paid, dude. I was a big fan of Jorge before, like even after the Darren Till fight, and then he got corny afterwards. But in his like beginning of his UFC career, he was fucking awesome.
yeah, I remember him from all the Kimbo videos. So
Yeah,
long long time ago.
Kimbo videos, man. That brings me back to for some reason the name that comes up is Keith Jardine. 'Cause he
Keith
fought
Jardine.
Kimbo. Yeah,
Dude, Keith Jardine, he's a bad dude, man.
he
I like
fought
I like
Kimbo.
that. Yeah,
That was crazy. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks Tim for
you
hanging
got
out.
it. Thank you. We'll wrap it up, and then we'll watch some tough, and we'll see what happens, and get ready for the next card.
Hell yeah.